So I don't even know if I'm going to end up editing this and putting this up onto YouTube, but it's currently 11th April, 10:46. I've been on client calls all morning and doing client update programs, but I guess today is the first training day for the next phase of my powerlifting. I'm just going to say it, October 24th. I'm going after Wayne Howlett's squat record in the 125 kilo class. Capo, I think I need to squat like 365 at 125. I've basically not trained for... I haven't trained properly for like fucking a year, done more bodybuilding stuff, but the gauntlet, but I'm gonna do it one last prep. I wasn't ever gonna compete again, but here we are, boobs. Let's fucking go. All right, so, all right, I guess this is a week one recap. I said it in the video, going after Wayne Howlett's record. So this was last Sunday. I didn't have any of my actual programming sorted yet. I'd made the decision, but I hadn't sort of mapped out the programming. So the way the weekly structure works is Sundays I deadlift and then so on and so forth. So this is like last week, pretty much the set you're watching now is where I made the decision to transition to pulling sumo rather than pulling conventional. I've always had a weird issue with my conventional I've never felt like I've been able to get really tight. I've pulled 300 in competition before, but so I had a glute surgery done a year ago, a bit over a year ago, and a couple of years ago, and I've got all this like scar tissue and stuff like that. So I get a little bit nervous about what I'm doing with my training, especially in that real hip hinge position. So I'm going over to sumo basically to make my life a little bit easier for me. I feel like I'll be able to progress it. So the way my structure is, I'll follow this same structure. So I've essentially got a top set and then back down for 8 weeks. What you're watching here is block pulls at sumo. It was kind of like, this was the point. I was like, yeah, should I just give it a shot? These felt like shit, but I was super fatigued after top set, and also doing block pulls off these plates. Like you can see there on the plates, I've got like Derrimix Gym, and that's raised up. Now these aren't like normal bumper plates. They're like a weird plasticky type of vibe going on. And they're just, the bar rolls around all over on them. And it's fucking absolutely terrible, to be honest. So it's not ideal. But yeah, this whole session just felt beyond average. But it was kind of the point where I was like, cool, pull sumo. I hadn't been doing a lot of mobility work. Like this was my first session back in like a couple of years. Like at true powerlifting, competing. I was getting ready for powerlifting. I was getting ready for Capo Nationals in 2017? 19. What year is it? 2019. And like I partially tore like the tendon in my ankle. So I threw in all the sets here for the week just because like they're here. I'm going to show all the training sets. I think the week 2 recap, I will shorten these because I feel like having a 9-minute training video montage is going to be terrible. But the sumos felt good and I made the decision. Now these barbells are pretty crappy as well. A few things I need to work on is getting tighter, but I feel like I'm able to use my quads and use my hips a heap more and get into a much better position. So even though this is like today's workout was 140 for my top set of sumo off the floor, they just look better than my conventional. Cool. So this was my second squat session, my first squat session of the week. Again, using this is programmed. So this is something I'd actually put thought into. A couple of things to take note of here, how terrible my ankles are moving. I had a couple of people message me. My massage girl literally screenshotted this. I put this on my Instagram. She screenshotted this and sent me how terrible like my knees are uneven. So working on that. Looking back over the video footage, I can just see that something's not right. I couldn't work it out. So I had a couple of people message me and be like, hey, what the fuck's going wrong with your legs at the moment? and that kind of made me to like make the decision to go over to a flat shoe. But this is all pretty standard back down work. These sets didn't look terrible, but I'm relatively pitched forward. Something that I struggled with in my last squat prep was being pitched forward. Now I do squat in wraps traditionally, but obviously I'm not squatting wraps for quite a while yet, just due to getting used to the actual weight, getting used back to training. And it's also for sub-maximal work. So it's basically like these videos, I think there's going to be a training log for myself, explaining how my training felt so I can watch back over them. I'm going for an Australian record and overall total of 900 kilos. So it's going to be cool to log these, I think. I think I'm going to enjoy logging them and having fun and just enjoying the experience of keeping track of what I'm doing from week to week to look back on. Like, I don't think YouTube as a platform is going anywhere anytime soon. So it'd be cool to look back on in, like, say 10 years time and get an idea of what is going on. I thought about doing these videos daily, but that's a lot of work for me, like to get the uploads. Like I nearly didn't do this upload, you know, so, but yeah, the squats felt better as back hours, but I felt fucking atrocious on that top set. So that's right, I put in all my back downs. I think next week I'll just put in my top sets and like one set of each main work. But training at Derrimut's is weird, right? It's a busy gym. The barbells are fucking terrible. But I like training with shitty barbells. I think that came from training at Jets for so long. That training with shitty barbells and shitty plates. Actually, Jets had an amazing barbells. They have these Australian barbell company bars. Oh, still my favorite barbell. Bench press. So top set, I'm not doing any top set work with bench press, but I am doing Larsen press as my main work. The reason for that is because I'm just worried about driving my bum into the pads and triggering the scar tissue in my glutes. I watched back that first set and that looked like my elbows are dipping heap. So the second set, I was like, cool, let's think about spreading the chest a bit more. I think they look snappier. I need to work on thoracic mobility, and this is all fucked up in regards to like the angle that it shot at, because I didn't realize I was going to put any of this to YouTube when I filmed it. But this is in flats, and I feel this is 120. So this is the same as Friday. No, so this is the same weight as Friday. And looking at this, I feel better. I've got the bar a little bit lower. I'm sitting back more. My ankles are still caving a little bit, but nowhere near as much. I feel like I'm able to use my glutes and my lower back a little bit more. Just struggling with like getting into the rack, because those racks are tight over there. But the wider foot stance, being in flats, feels nice. So I'll train on my Hyper KOs as my main shoe. I've taken my squat shoes out of my bag. I don't know how that will go with wraps. I'm gonna soon to find out. But I've been doing a bit more mobility work, so ankles feeling nice. I need to get a better thoracic mobility and make sure my lats do tighten up, or else it is going to be a shit show when it comes to getting longer in my prep and my elbows start flaring because my lats get really tight. So note to self, make sure that your lats are doing something properly. But yeah, squats felt good in my back downs this week. It was fucking light as shit as well. No belt, wrist wraps obviously, because that's just the way we party. Yeah, I'll see you in next week's recap. Week 1 was okay.